Say hello to the latest Renault Captur. Now I know what you're thinking, another small SUV. Yeah, but truth be told, more of us are buying cars like this than ever before. Now the first Renault Captur, along with the Nissan Juke, helped make the crossover so popular. Now there's loads to choose from. So you might be wondering, is it worth buying one of these considering there's so much competition? Now I'm about to bring your wondering to an end. But before that, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the Carbuyer YouTube channel, hit the bell icon, and then you can get notifications for whenever a new video comes out. And you don't want to miss that. The Captur shares lots of parts with the Clio, but Renault also wants it to benefit from that car's chic, cosmopolitan image. Understandable, given that many people buy cars in this class based on what they like the look of most. The designers have done a pretty good job. The Captur is leaner and sharper than before, and the new front and rear LED lights help really modernise the look of the car. The flame red paint, black contrasting roof and 18-inch alloy wheels don't come as standard on the entry-level model, but they show how smart the Captur can look if the old voom is still your thing. And while we're thinking of voom and Thierry Henry and Gallic flair, I thought I'd bring you straight in here into what is a pretty cool interior. Now admittedly, it's not as stylish as the Peugeot 2008, but it's not far behind. I really like the overall look. The style of the dash is very nice, and the little touches like the knurled effect that you get on the knobs and on the indicator sticks. And on this S Edition model, you've got a nice leather steering wheel, soft materials where there would have been scratchy plastic in some of the old models of the Renault Captur. And this touchscreen, the infotainment system, is really nice. More importantly, so easy to use. You've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and it's definitely one of the best systems for plugging your phone in and just driving off straight away. The touchscreen is really responsive and intuitive. It's a crisp, clear screen. There's one thing that I think is worth pointing out. If you're particularly tall, it does feel like you're perched on top of the seat rather than sitting in it. So it's worth checking that you're happy with the driving position before signing on the dotted line. The Captur is also good value for money, both in terms of prices and the standard equipment included. There are 3 trim levels, starting with the entry-level Play. This version comes with cruise control, full LED headlights, climate control, a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, black and grey cloth upholstery, and a hands-free keycard. This top-of-the-range S Edition model has extra luxuries including alloy wheels, roof rails, a bigger 9.3-inch touchscreen, front and rear parking sensors, a rear-view camera, leather seats, a wireless phone charger, and ambient lighting. Most buyers will go for the mid-range iconic model though. We think it's the sweet spot in the range. If you want a few extras, options like the sunroof and Bose sound system on our car are relatively cheap to add. So it's worth checking how much they are before moving up to this flashy S Edition trim. Now similar to the Skoda Kamiq, the Renault Captur has a very nice trick up its sleeve. The rear bench can be slid backwards and forwards so that you can prioritise boot space or prioritise legroom, depends on what you're using the car for. So it can move 160 millimetres in total, which allows an extra 100 litres of boot space. So with the bench fully forward, you've got 536 litres of boot space, which makes it one of the biggest boots in its class. Now granted, I'm not going to want to sit like this for a long time because these jeans are tight and it will cut off my blood supply. But the flexibility means that the Renault Captur is more versatile than some of its competitors, which is important because there's not much to choose between the cars in this class. Now with the bench all the way back, lovely, you've got over 400 litres of boot space, lots of legroom for me, lots of headroom for me, and it definitely feels more spacious than the new Nissan Juke. Also, the seats can fold down 60-40, so if you've got something awkward in the boot and you also need someone sat in the back, you can do that as well. Well, now that's the interior covered. What's it like to drive? Well, over to you, Nicola sat in the front seat. Why, thank you, Nicola in the back seat. I'll take it from here. So this is 128 brake horsepower, 1.3 litre petrol, and it's what I like to call nicely nippy.
Now there is a 99 brake horsepower 1 litre petrol, which is probably going to be more popular because it's more economical and it's a bit cheaper. But that one feels a little bit slow at times. I feel like this is the useful upgrade you're going to need if you can stretch to it. There is a 153 brake horsepower option, but I mean, this gives you everything you need really, plus it helps keep the price down. Speaking of prices, this 7-speed automatic gearbox is really smooth, but it does add some money to the cost of the car, whereas the 6-speed manual gearbox suits the car just fine, so I don't see why you would want to spend any more money unless you desperately want to get an automatic.
The 128 brake horsepower petrol engine, or TCE 130 as Renault calls it, gets the Captur from 0 to 62 in 9.6 seconds, or 10.6 with the manual gearbox, which is significantly quicker than the 13.3 seconds of the TCE 100 1 litre petrol. This car's official economy figure of 44.8 miles per gallon is slightly lower, but in reality you're unlikely to notice much difference, so it won't cost much more to run. Renault also offers a 1.5 litre diesel engine with either 94 brake horsepower or 113 brake horsepower, and both return a miles per gallon figure in the mid to late 50s, depending on the exact specification. These are likely to prove a niche choice, as they'll only really suit owners who do a lot of miles on the motorway every year. Most Capturs will spend their time in and around town. Another reason the diesels won't be so popular is the benefit-in-kind surcharge for company car drivers. It means those who want to run a Captur as a company car are more likely to go for the E-Tech plug-in hybrid instead, which claims economy of up to 188 miles per gallon. Its official CO2 emissions figure of 34 to 36 grams per kilometre put it in a very low tax bracket.
Now the Renault Captur feels a little bit unusual in this class because it's not really trying to be sporty. So the suspension feels noticeably softer than it does in, say, the Ford Puma. Yes, the Ford Puma is a better car to drive, but this is more comfortable and relaxing. Now it does lean a bit in corners, but the steering feels accurate and it does feel like a safe car to drive, even if it doesn't egg you on to go that little bit faster. And let's be honest, most people that are going to be buying a Renault Captur aren't going to buy one to take to a track day. At least, I hope they're not. Otherwise, this part of the review will be very disappointing.
It's deal makers and deal breakers time. The ability to create more boot space adds to the car's practicality. While so many small crossovers want to be sporty, the Captur focuses on comfort. The Captur is one of the smallest cars available as a PHEV. It's a great car, but it's not the most stylish, the best to drive, or the most luxurious car in its class.
Arguably the best thing about the Renault Captur is that it's a great all-rounder. It's hard to think of one thing to go raving mad about, whereas there's lots of little things that it does really well. It's well equipped, it's practical, it's cheap to run, it's stylish, and what's really nice is that there's at least one of the Super Mini base crossovers that's been engineered to be comfortable and relaxing rather than particularly sporty. So where it does impress across the board, it's also great value for money, and that includes the options that are normally pretty expensive. Oh, plus add to that, the Renault Captur is currently the only car in its class that's available as a plug-in hybrid. And that makes it a very, very popular choice. So yes, the Renault Captur was one of the first crossovers available, but this latest one means it still remains one of the best.
If you found this video useful, then why not watch our Family Hatchbacks playlist? Thanks for watching.